New Year's resolution ideas. Do you have any? Do you need some? I'm going to share with you some of my resolutions, and maybe that'll give you some ideas about what you can do this year. So New Year's resolutions, should you make them or should you break them? I think you should always make New Year's resolutions, and I'm here to give you some ideas that you might make, but that you also might break. But that's okay. The point is to just do it. Just make some resolutions and stick to them and see what happens, because there's a quote out there that says that a year from now you will wish you had started today. So a year from now, where do you want to be? A year from now, are you gonna regret not having made a New Year's resolution that could have gotten you to a very different place a year from now? So New Year's resolutions, how powerful are they going to be for you 1 year from now? So right now I am actually exercising, so I apologize if I am not in the usual spots where you guys recognize me being in my previous videos, but I wanted to give you one really cool idea, and I actually saw this somewhere last year, and I thought, I'm gonna do that because I think it's a really good idea. Who doesn't love to feel good about themselves? Who doesn't love to think about really positive memories that made you laugh, smile, have fun, and think about enjoying life, especially with everything going on in the world right now? You need more of those moments where you have something to be grateful for and something that's going to remind you to be grateful. And no matter what lot in life you're in right now, you always have something to be grateful for. And I know that sometimes that's easier said than done, but I truly believe that. I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. So anyway, that leads me to New Year's resolution idea number 1. Okay, start writing down everything that happens to you from now on that makes you feel like so good and that really stands out. So I know that there are gratitude journals out there where you can write down like, 5 things that you're grateful for today, or 5 things that you're grateful for that happened yesterday, and they could be as simple as like, I woke up today, my child made me smile when she told me a joke, or I got to eat my favorite fruit, something as simple as that. But I'm not talking about those sort of things. I'm talking about things that really stand out. So I am going to share some of the things that stood out for me this year. Last year in 2020, but you can do that for 2021. And I think that is a great New Year's resolution, because let me just tell you that when I read back on this list, I was like blown away. I had forgotten that some of these things even happened. So when you can reminisce and think about how you felt in those moments, that these great, awesome moments happened to you, you're gonna be super grateful. So I'll give you an example. Like last year, I wrote it in my notes and I titled it as wins. So that means that whenever I felt like I had a win, I wrote it down. In January of last year, my son, he had a prompt in school to write about someone that he looked up to, that he admired, and he wrote about me. And so you can just imagine, if you're a parent, like how that would make you feel. And I mean, it's like, it makes you emotional, it makes you feel happy, it makes you feel proud. And if you're a parent, you know that nothing in this world matters more than how your kids feel in the day-to-day, and that you play a positive role in their life, and that you can only hope that they remember you when you're not around. Because sometimes you think, they go to school, they're with their friends, they forget that mom even exists, especially as they get older. That was like a really special moment for me. Also, last year in the summer, okay, you guys might think I'm crazy, but for some of you that might be superstitious, or even for some of you that know about Spanish or Hispanic like folklore, last year I saw a huge black moth, like a huge black butterfly, in our backyard. And it was weird because I was like watering my bushes and my plants, and I saw a huge one, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I always remember my grandma telling me it was bad luck, and so I looked it up, and in this particular thing that I read, it actually said that it could be good luck. So guys, you're not gonna believe me, that day I said, okay, I need to go out and I need to go buy a lottery ticket, and let's just see what happens. Today has been a good day so far, so let's just see, So I think I bought like $5 to $10 worth of lottery tickets, like where you pick the number, and I won $300. So I don't know if this black butterfly, black moth, had anything to do with it, but it was just one of those moments where you're like, wow, if I hadn't have written that down, maybe I would have forgotten. Because when I read it, I didn't even remember I had won $300 in the lottery. So then, let's see, what's something else that I wrote down? Something that I was excited for was that I applied to be a Macy's ambassador, and I was accepted. So that's why I've started sharing some of the beauty products, because it works well with my New Year's resolution to take care of my skin and just kind of see what other products are out there, because I'll be honest with you, like self-care is last on my list, if it even makes it on my list. And I thought, you know what, why haven't I been prioritizing myself? Like, I matter, right? I matter, and self-care totally matters. So I'm like, let me take care of my skin, let's see what beauty products are out there. And lo and behold, I got accepted. And I've been reviewing some products, which you can see on my Macy's store profile. The link is going to be in the description below. So if you're interested in checking out some of those products, make sure you scroll down. Okay, so I'll just give you another example of something I wrote down last year, and this will be the last one. But something as special as having like more free time on your hands. Like that for me, and what I was doing in that free time, like I was reading, I was cooking more, and just having like that peace of mind is really, really awesome. And so those are things that I wrote down because I remembered how much, like how happy I felt in those moments of all these things that I've just listed to you. And so having free time might be a resolution idea for you. Like maybe you don't have enough free time on your hands to do whatever it is that you want to do. More free time to exercise, more free time to read, more free time to spend time with your kids, more free time to maybe work on your hobby, maybe more time to work on your business, maybe more free time to exercise, more free time to learn a language, more free time to go shopping, more free time to talk with a friend, just anything, more free time period. So since one of my resolutions is definitely to have more free time, that means that if you are a business owner, you could consider making more digital products. You see, having digital products allows you to free up more time because then you won't be working one-on-one with people unless it's in the capacity that you set. So for me, for example, if people want to work one-on-one with me, they can, and you can find out by scrolling down into the description below. But my point is that by having a broader digital offering, you will be able to remove yourself from the picture and thereby having more free time. So if you're somebody, for example, that, I don't know, let's say you're in a service-based business like me. Like if you're a teacher, for example, let's say you're an art teacher. Well, maybe you can put together like an art program that you can sell to people who are really interested in your specific art niche. So maybe you're awesome at watercolors. Maybe you can put together a program teaching people how to, you know, use watercolors, what kind of paper to buy, what kind of supplies to buy, what kind of activities to do with watercolors, how you can use them with kids. I mean, the options are endless. There's so much that you could do. So by offering digital products, you will allow yourself a little bit more free time. So tell me in the comments below if you're somebody that thinks that you should be offering digital products, but you need help identifying what kind of digital products you should be offering for your specific niche, because maybe the rest of us can help you out. Tell me in the comments below. So one of my last resolution ideas is to try and say yes to something that you think in the back of your mind is going to make your life a little bit more comfortable, but you have a hard time saying yes. So for me, for example, somebody that didn't prioritize self-care, like it's too general for me to say, okay, I'm gonna prioritize self-care. Like, what does that even mean? For some people that means doing nothing, like sleeping in for an hour longer. For some people that means getting up an hour earlier. But for me, sometimes I think that means like, I'm just gonna say yes to buying this one product that I keep telling myself I don't need or that I don't want, because throughout the whole year, if you look at my bank statements, you'll see that I am not a big spender on myself. I am not a big spender on a whole lot of things, just because that's the way I am. I always think to myself, like, I don't need that. How many times am I going to use that? It's going to be a waste of money. I could save that money and put it to use in something like real estate, which is another New Year's resolution. And so guess how many things I end up buying myself throughout the year that I think could have made me just a little happier. So I thought, okay, even if I just say yes once in a while, like I think I'll be okay. So this is gonna sound silly to some of you, but I'm gonna share with you that I finally said yes to a weighted blanket. Did it make a difference? The weighted blanket is nice. So I'm going to show you this weighted blanket so you can see why I love it so much. But see, it wasn't enough to just have like any weighted blanket, because then I felt like it was going to be a waste of money. If I'm going to get the weighted blanket that I think is going to make me feel just a little bit more comfortable in my life, or that's just going to give me that extra inch of dose of happiness, then it's got to be the one that like I really want. I mean, just get the one you want. So honestly, it wasn't that expensive. It was like 40 bucks, and it's Sherpa, and it's like a beige Sherpa. So you look at it and you're like, whoa, that thing looks really, really comfortable. So here's the weighted blanket that has been hijacked from me. As you can see, somebody is using it in this bed. But here you go. I wish you could like show more in the video, but it is so hard to tell. But you can kind of tell by how quickly it comes down. See? I mean, it is heavy. Like I said, it's a 12-pound blanket. It's super soft, and the cover comes off so you can wash it and then put it back on. See, the inside part is in there, and then this liner comes off. But look at this. I promise you, it's so soft and comfy. The reason I bought it was because sometimes when I'm laying on the couch like watching TV, I get really cold at night, and so I thought, okay, maybe it'll make me feel like extra warm. Because I don't know about you, but tell me in the comments, like sometimes I'll use a comforter or I'll use a throw blanket, you know, like one that you should keep on your couch, but I feel like it's so lightweight, especially at nighttime when I'm really cold, that I feel like I have to have like 3 throw blankets on me, or have to have like a really heavy comforter. So having that weighted blanket was like, at first I'm like, wow, this is heavy, because I got a 12-pound one. So far I like it at nighttime because it makes me feel a little bit warmer. That extra weight actually does make you feel warmer, and you don't have to have all those extra blankets. So anyway, I bought a weighted blanket, and I'm just trying to drive home the point that you need to ask yourself, how many times in a year are you buying stuff that like really makes you feel happy? Maybe you're somebody that says yes to buying throughout the year, so this isn't like, self-care isn't really an issue for you, but I categorize this under self-care because we all know that, you know, happiness and hits of happiness do certain things to certain neurotransmitters in your brain, etc., etc. And so how many times a year are you actually saying yes to something for yourself that you think could improve your life even just a scotch? I mean, you're working really hard 365 days a year, especially if you're watching my channel, because you're a hardworking small business, medium-sized business owner. So how are you rewarding yourself? Like for me, I wasn't rewarding myself at all. So I'm like, I need to start indulging even in the little things, okay? So something else that I want to improve, and that might be a good idea for you as an entrepreneur, because let me guess, you're probably slaying behind your computer. You tend to do this number right here, and we are all guilty of it. And so over time, you might tend to develop bad posture. So that is me, actually. I feel like I walk around like this sometimes. It bothers me because, not because anybody has said anything, but because I want to have better posture. So part of having better posture for me means that I have to do the work and commit to doing certain stretches, certain exercises, and this tool right here, this resistance band, which I will link down below in the description, has been really helpful and really useful for that. And if you want me to share the exercises that I am currently doing for posture, because this is not the only one, then I would be happy to do that. But make sure that whatever you're picking as your New Year's resolution is something that just makes you happy overall. I think people focus on doing things that they think they have to do, but I think that at the core it should be beneficial to you in some sort of way. Beneficial to you doesn't mean beneficial to me, but ultimately you have to be happy with whatever you're choosing to do on a daily basis because it benefits you. So if you can't already tell, a good portion of my 2021 is going to be spent focusing on my resolutions. So I hope some of these are useful for you and give you some ideas. And just to recap, you know, focusing on fitness, but maybe being specific, like, do you want to work on your biceps, your triceps? Do you want to work on better posture? Do you want to work on saying yes a little bit more, either to spending time with family, to digital products? Do you want to say yes to something you were afraid to do, something that you think you couldn't do, something that you think costs too much money and you're going to say yes to doing it? Maybe that could mean investing in your brand. Maybe that could mean like something that has nothing to do with business. What are you committed to? Let me know in the comments below. I want to know, because maybe you're going to inspire others with your New Year's resolution ideas. Hey, so if you want to know which products I mentioned in this video, then make sure you scroll down into the description below, either so you can just check them out and buy something similar elsewhere, or because you're really interested in the exact products that I use.